Now, health workers unions and universal health coverage UHC staff have stepped up pressure on county governments to implement the long-awaited transition of UHC workers to permanent and pensionable terms. The unions have this Wednesday staged a peaceful procession through Nairobi, presenting petitions to key government institutions over what they describe as years of delayed promises. While they commended President William Ruto and Health CS Aden Duale for backing the transition, they still accuse county governments of frustrating its implementation. Victor Ngaruya has the story.
Chants of health workers under the universal health coverage once again filled the streets of Nairobi on Wednesday as members of the Health Union's caucus marched from Green Park terminals to the Ministry of Health before proceeding to Parliament and other key government institutions to present petitions demanding action over their long-running employment disputes. At the center of the demonstrations is the fate of over 7,000 universal health coverage workers, most of whom were recruited on contract in 2020 during the COVID-19 pandemic. Although the workers were expected to transition to permanent and pensionable terms from 1st July 2026, they say many are yet to receive their appointment letters. The unions insist county governments are now the biggest obstacle to implementing the transition.
We are calling upon the national government, if possible, they can issue the permanent letters direct to our colleagues. If the Council of Governors have become the stumbling block, let Honorable Duale and the Ministry of Health, as they have also taken upon themselves and they have ensured the payslip they have been converted to permanent and pensionable. Also, they can be able to take the responsibility and also instruct the Public Service Commission to also issue these permanent and pensionable terms.
The unions also praised President William Ruto and Health Cabinet Secretary Aden Duale, saying the national government had demonstrated its commitment by supporting the workers' transition to permanent and pensionable terms and securing funding for the exercise. Their criticism is instead aimed at the Council of Governors, which they accuse of delaying implementation despite constitutional approval of 8.9 billion shillings as a conditional grant in the 2026-27 financial year budget to facilitate the absorption of UHC workers.
Walikimbilia kutupatia barua za kandarasi za muda mwaka wa 2020. Lakini sasa hivi tumepata kandarasi ya kudumu, wana sita na kutapatapa kwa sababu wanataka kutupatia barua zetu za kandarasi za kudumu.
County governments have so far maintained that they are not opposed to employing the workers. Their concern, they say, is that the money was released on a conditional grant rather than as part of counties' recurrent equitable share, leaving them without a sustainable long-term financing framework to keep the workers on their payroll.
So I want to tell UHC workers, this matter can only be solved through the intergovernmental architecture. It cannot be resolved through demonstrations in the streets.
The unions, however, say they will sustain both their demonstrations and industrial action until all UHC workers are issued with permanent and pensionable employment letters. Victor Ngaruya, NTV.